On. All right, so the recording has started. So I appreciate for those of you who wrote on the whiteboard. I can see Bill wrote how to integrate with Canvas courses and virtual office hours. And we were actually just talking about that some today, Bill, and we will get to that at the end of the presentation. Maybe make some suggestions. It is not as easy as Big Blue Button right now, but we do have some ways that you can do it. And how to record a session, we will definitely go over that, and how to set up a session. So let's go ahead and get started here. I did want to show you this with the whiteboard area, because this can be a really great way, if you are using this to work with students, this is a fantastic way to have students engaged and also work collaboratively. All right, so let's go ahead and get the PowerPoint loaded up here, and I will be sending out the PowerPoint after our session today. All right, so if you see the Skype for Business PowerPoint, if it's come up, if you could let me know in the chat box.
I think I see it. Skype for Business?
Skype for Business. All right, it is there. Sometimes there's a little bit of a lag, so I always like to make sure that it has come up and it is there. So just kind of an overview for today's agenda. We're looking at some of the basic functionality, how you can load in PowerPoints, how you can have polls with your students or with whoever you're working with professionally using the whiteboard, screen share, and then we're going to look up how to set up a meeting. And that will also have some logging in instructions, and then finally do a Q&A. So for those of you who are kind of looking at specific things, say office hours, as Bill mentioned earlier, we'll take a look at that at the end. All right. Dale, don't know how you got the little ninja man there in the chat box. That's awesome. Okay, so first of all, kind of what is Skype for Business? A lot of us are familiar with Skype. As just a basic way, to use video, to go back and forth with family and other people. Well, Skype for Business has really opened it up. And for those of you who've used like Blackboard Collaborate or Big Blue Button, it incorporates a lot of those features where you can use the whiteboards and different ways to collaborate. You can also have about 250 people online with a Skype for Business session simultaneously. So we haven't quite hit those numbers here, but that, according to Skype, is they are able to accommodate at least at the most 250 people. So it can be a really great way to collaborate and communicate. More and more, we have Skype for Business here with SCF. So I know, if you ever want to problem solve with somebody else, you can screen share so that you are not having to do everything just verbally, which can be great. Mobile, I have Skype for Business on my phone, which is fantastic. And you can actually attend an entire session on your phone with Skype for Business. The only piece is like the whiteboard. If somebody's on their phone, they're not able to participate on the whiteboard, but they are able to view the PowerPoint sessions and everything. So it is mobile, and it can be set up securely since it is offered as part of our Office 365. All right. So just as we get started, if you do have any questions as we're going through anything, feel free to pick up the mic or write it in the chat box. And Dale's also monitoring the chat box. If I get carried away talking, sometimes I don't see it. So he can also help answer your questions. But just some general things that I wanted to go over, just kind of best practices. It is really important that if you are presenting, that you have reliable internet. So if you're on at your home, you may want to think about plugging into your router instead of just being on your wireless. You may have really great wireless, but if you have another person in your house, maybe start streaming video, it might give you some issues. So reliable internet is a very important just practice. Your PowerPoints also should not be huge. You want to limit them to at least 15 slides. You can go a little bit over than that, but I've seen people have a lot of problems when they, had slides that were 30 slides long or more. That can cause some issues just because it's such a huge file. And then, of course, make sure you have a good microphone. I like to use the headsets, but just make sure you have a good microphone so everybody can hear you loud and clear. All right, and then I'm just going to kind of go over the screen layout. Everybody should be seeing this right now. The participants will all be listed, whoops, over on the left-hand side. And this is really nice because you also can see who has video, who has the microphone. And if you need to, say somebody has like a lot of feedback, you can also click on someone's microphone to mute them if you need to. So if you had somebody participating that had dogs going crazy in the background, you can just mute them if you need to. Then at the bottom left, that's going to be the chat area. And you can actually toggle this on and off with that little chat bubble, the little IM bubble located right here. And then in the middle, where you see the screen with the arrow, this, if you, and you can click it now if you'd like, you'll see that this is where you choose whether you're sharing your desktop or if you're going to share content, anything that you're going to share there for your stage, that's where you would choose this. And then over on the right-hand side, I had a question earlier come in, well, how do you record? Well, if you look on your far right-hand side, you'll see the circle with the 3 dots. If you click on that, that very top selection is where you would hit the recording or stop the recording at the end. And there's a lot more options we'll kind of go more into kind of as we go through this a little bit. Now, Bill, I saw you came up with a question, how do you set up securely? Well, basically, this is considered to be secure because, like, you can only, like, while we're in a session, add people that are in our organization. Otherwise, somebody would have to have the link. So I think, you know, Skype for Business is secure compared to maybe some other options that are out there. But I would have to get you exact, you know, as far as their security, you know, how secure is it? But overall, it's much more secure than if you were just doing, you know, some of the free ones that are out on the web. All right, so basically, if you click on the screen icon that's down in the middle, it says share your icon here. I'm going to go ahead and click the annotate. All right, so you'll see there that one of the things you can select is more. And when you select more, this will allow you to do a whiteboard, a poll, or a Q&A. So let me go ahead and bring up, I have a poll ready. Let me go ahead and bring that up so you can take a look at what that looks like. All right, so this is an example of a poll. Actually, this is actually a Q&A, not a poll. This is one where you actually have questions coming in. So right now the poll is open. You can go ahead and click on the screen for you know, answer. What is your comfort level using Skype for Business? Is this all right? It might take a second, Bill, to load up. All right, so is this your first time to see it? Have you attended sessions? Have you presented sessions but would like to learn more functionality? Or are you a Skype rock star? All right, so as a presenter, you also have options of if you want to share the poll for everyone. You can choose Rockstar now, go for it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show then that the results are shown to everybody. And that way you can all see where everybody's chiming in and their percentage. So you can imagine if you're using this. Bill, are you able to see the poll now? Let me ask.
The poll I can see. It's the more on the when you said when you click the share screen.
Oh,
there should be,
yes, absolutely.
Now I see it.
Now you see the poll. Okay, so yes.
I just made you a presenter.
Ah, okay. You have to be a presenter to see the more. So I can't share my desk. A student can't share the desktop unless they're made presenter. Is that how it works?
That is absolutely correct. That and you can change, like if you click on somebody, you can change whether they're a presenter or not in the presenter list. So if you did have a student you wanted to present PowerPoint, you can make them a presenter, or you can put them just in the participant list.
I just made everybody presenters.
All right, awesome. So you can see this, having a question answered, this is great because you can, this would be a great thing to do to start off, to ask different, maybe formative questions to get everything going and just to keep the students interactive and engaged. I did want to also show the typical polling. Let me go ahead and add this in. All right, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here. And we've now made everybody presenters, so everybody will have the same piece. Now, the very nice thing about these features is you can really add that interactivity to your presentation. And there's the poll, which will basically, ask a question without A, B, C, D, or also just the Q&A. So to be able to manage content, to be able to switch back and forth, how I just switched from, say, the whiteboard to the poll, this is done through the manage content. So you should all have access to this now. If you click on the screen icon down at the very bottom center, you should now see where it says manage content. Now, of course, your participants, if it's just regular participants, would not have this. But you can see now when you click on the share content that anything you've added to it is on that list. And the very first icon underneath it, that allows you to toggle on or off whatever you're presenting. So for example, right now I have toggled on is my PowerPoint. If I wanted to turn it off, I would just click that same screen again. And then additionally, you can also delete here. So if you already have like a PowerPoint that you need to get rid of, especially considering you kind of want to watch your file sizes, you can also delete it here. So managing this content is a really important feature. It took me a little bit to find this when I started using it, but it's very helpful. Okay, so here's a few other things that's really important if you're going to be conducting these. And Bill, you asked earlier, how can I use this, as an online classroom? Well, one of the things, if you click the three little dots over on the right-hand side for more options, that you'll see in that menu is meeting entry info. And that will give you the meeting link. So what's nice about this meeting link is that you can send this out to anyone and they'll be able to come in. So for example, if you had a guest speaker that you wanted to join you, or if you wanted to have an open office, you could just, link it to your meeting link for your open office, and people could just click on that and go into your meeting. So that is a really helpful piece to know. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about some other control options. You see with the Skype meeting options, which is also if you access the three little dots over on the right-hand side for more options, there's Skype meeting options. So this, for example, these people don't have to wait in the lobby. Basically, that's saying that, if you wanted to restrict, as for like security, if you wanted to restrict who could come in, this is where you would set that. If you want to, like, who's a presenter, we have it set so that anyone from the organization will come in as a presenter. Now, I have noticed some funny stuff, like sometimes that'll change up a little bit, but everybody should come in if that's set. But if you're using, like for this with your students, you may not want to have it set as that. You may want to choose who's a presenter. And the same thing with PowerPoints. If you want your students to be able to draw on the PowerPoints that you're presenting, like say you have one that you want them to solve a math problem or something on the PowerPoint slide, you can leave it so that anyone can annotate it. Or you may choose to lock it down. Maybe you don't want people drawing on your PowerPoints while you're delivering them, or you may even want to change that during the course of delivery. So all those are options that you have. And then also who can look at the content on their own. So if you want to hold everybody to being synchronous, you can do that, or you can choose to let people look at stuff on their own. So those are always really great controls, and to know that they're there if you need it. All right, so now we're just going to talk really quickly about how to schedule a meeting. And there's really two main ways to go. You can schedule one in advance using your Outlook calendar, or you can schedule one on the fly using Meet Now. So first of all, if you look at your calendar, so I'm in Microsoft Outlook right now, and if you look at your calendar, you will find this, one of the choices here is Skype, new Skype meeting. So you see that looks just like that on your Outlook. And if you click on that, that will be, it'll handle it just like a traditional appointment. You can put in all the attendees that you want to come, and you can also add text to that so that you can share that, send that out. And that's pretty much how we set these up. That also would be, a great option if you're going to use it for your classroom, that you set it up in a time ahead of time, and you could add the attendees right there. Now you may be working, especially, if you're working with other people from your department and need to set one up on the fly. That is done through the traditional Skype for Business, the one that always pops up, or you can just open it without being in a full meeting. And you'll notice there's 3 icons when you do that. If you open up the one for calendar, one of your choices should be Meet Now. And when you do a Meet Now, that will launch automatically. So those are the 2 main choices. Either you kind of do it ahead of time using your Outlook calendar with the integration for the new Skype meeting, or doing the on the fly with Meet Now. I'll go ahead and do a quick screen share on that. All right, so you can see then in the top left-hand corner, you just select New Skype Meeting. And then this will automatically put the text into the body to join the Skype meeting. It'll put the link there. And you can set, the 2 up in the subject and the time, however you would like. Now, one of the things that a lot of people do for the start time and the end time is they choose a very large window. So if you were going to use this as Bill asked in the beginning as a open office, your start time could be at the beginning of the semester and your end time could be at the end. And if you did it like that, then anytime somebody clicked the link, it would take them to your Skype office. Now, Sarah mentions, I don't have the new Skype meeting on my Outlook calendar. That's really interesting, Sarah. What we might have to do is make sure that you have everything upgraded. You should have that, but we might have to work with the IT folks to make sure we get that set up, because that is really, really convenient to work with it like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint now. Did anybody have any questions? Of course. Did anybody have any other questions about setting up an appointment? All right, that's a good question. Sarah asked, where would the link be for a scheduled meeting? You can kind of do that 2 ways. You can click on your link for, like, in your Outlook. Here, let me go ahead and share my desktop. Just a second. Yeah, absolutely. So you can either just click on to this link right here, and you'll see that it kind of comes up with a link, and then you could just do copy hyperlink. So that is one way you could do it, is just by going to your Outlook calendar, clicking on that link, and then copying that hyperlink, and then you would be able to paste that, say, in Canvas where you want. Or, again, if you launch the meeting, because you can launch it at any time, you can go to that more options. Let's see, I can't share my Skype thing, but you can also go to what we talked about earlier, where you click on the 3 dots and go to the meeting entry info and get the link there. So both of those places will have the links. All right, see some other questions coming in. Bill said, do you recommend one long meeting for office hours? Oops, I lost the thing. Do you recommend one long meeting for office hours or a reoccurring meeting? Would they be the same link for reoccurring? Great question, Bill. No, they would not be the same link for reoccurring. I would suggest just having the one long meeting. Just create an open meeting for the entire semester that you send out. The reoccurring meeting, I actually haven't, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure that that would create different links for different meetings. So I would just stay safe, create one meeting for the whole window, and you'll be fine. Plus, it'll be the same hyperlink. Jason said, okay, he sent this. I set up one continuous meeting and I opened it during the times I have specified. So Jason, you should have checked Skype Rockstar. Now, Jason, I'm curious, did you see, and feel free to hit your mic, did you have many students use this for your open office times?
Nope, I have yet to have anybody use it yet.
Well, keep trying. I know, you know, a lot of times people will offer it for if there's a choke point coming up in their class, maybe an assignment or something like that. And if you know, kind of really advertise it, you might get more people coming in that way if you want to.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and did you have
Hey, Jason, you just have the link set up in your profile. That's where you do it. Do you promote it through like an announcement or anything like that, saying here's a link if you for office hours?
Actually, in my Canvas course for all my classes, I've already created all my announcements for the semester, and every single announcement that drops every week, it actually has a reminder. I have my virtual office hours, and then I also include the link there as well.
Oh, that's awesome, Jason. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so kind of the next two things, you know, Judy mentioned she had some difficulties when she first logged in today. So basically there's two ways to come into a Skype meeting. There is, if you have the Skype for Business downloaded on your desktop, it's really simple. You click the invitation and you should get prompted with this window where it's basically saying use Skype audio. Oops. Or if you don't have it, because you don't have to have Skype for Business to attend a session, you have the using the web app option, which basically requires you to download a little plugin and make sure it's installed, and then you can join the meeting that way, and it'll ask you to put in your name. Now I just sent out, hopefully, did you get the attachment I just sent out with the instructions on how to share or how to join a Skype session?
This blue slide, you mean?
No, I sent it out, and I can send it out afterwards. Okay, I didn't check on it. I'll send it up as a follow up as well. But basically, I have a little how-to as far as logging in that I can send out. But all the students and all the staff, everybody here on campus has access to Office 365, and Skype for Business comes with it. So, you know, I really recommend installing that. One of the drawbacks, if you have students using the web app, is it's harder for them to, you know, like if they want to present and everything, they don't have all the controls that you do if you have the full Skype for Business. Plus,
Okay.
so I really recommend, you know, and in the attachment that I'll send out, it has also, you know, the how to do that from our website, our SCF Connect website, you know, where you go to download it and stuff. So you can provide that for students if you want to use this. And they can always come here to, you know, work with IT support too for that help for that. All right. All right, so that's pretty much the main bits of it. I thought at this point, anyone who wanted to practice maybe loading up a PowerPoint or changing content, that we would give you guys some tries. Let's see, anybody want to volunteer to change what we are sharing, like to change the content being shared? Now again, to change what is being shared, I'll go back to that slide. You just need to click on the screen icon and where it says manage content, and then you can toggle what is being shared. Any volunteers? All right, Jason's going to do it for us. All right, Jason. So if you want to change what content is being shared, that would be fantastic. Okay, I just saw the. Oh, that's good to know, Bill. Thanks for checking that out.
Yeah, I was just gonna add. I was gonna add on to it. If it's reoccurring, I think it would be the same link too.
That's
But
fantastic.
thanks, Bill, for fleshing that out. And Jason, I would think of you as a teddy bear, not a little pig.
Okay.
That is a dog.
Oh, is that oh, is it a dog? No, it's not. That's a pig.
Dog works.
It's a dog.
Okay, here you go.
It's just
I'm
got
now
really
presenting.
awkward. Or a pig.
We are going to learn about troubleshooting and maintenance today.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
So yeah, this works out very nicely.
Oh. And you know too, Jason has it opened up right now so that anybody viewing could annotate the screen, the PowerPoint. So if you were doing this with students, you know, you may present a reading piece or something and say, you know, highlight an area or highlight the correct answer, so they could actually draw on the screen on the PowerPoint too, which can be very useful for instruction.
I did that on purpose.
Nice. All right. Anybody else want to give it a try? It's always good to kind of try it out. And
Would
you know,
the students
How do you
have to
get back
be
to the tools?
presenters to write on to annotate? Would they have to be presenters?
no, that was set in the earlier options.
Right, right.
If you click on those three little dots
Right.
for more
Who
options,
you allow?
yes, exactly.
Right, okay.
So that's at
Gotcha.
Skype meeting options. You can set whether they're allowed to or not. And you know, I'll be honest, one time I had a student that just wanted to be funny and started like drawing smiley faces and everything, so I locked them out. So
How do
you know,
you do the drawing? I'm not seeing tools to draw on here.
okay, well if you hover over like where the PowerPoint is presenting, you should see over like in the top right hand corner a in like a blue rectangle and a pin.
No.
It's right on the PowerPoint slide in the upper right hand corner.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now.
And it only
Right.
so that's really nice. You know, you can kind of draw attention to things. Just one of my bad habits is you have to remember to have pin selected. Otherwise, when you click, it'll advance your your slide.
I just figured that out.
So it takes a little getting used to. But you know, this can be such a powerful tool. You know, for test reviews, it can be used quite. And if you want to practice as well, you know, Dale and I can always set up a session so you can kind of run through it before you do it live with students, because I know that first time with students can be a little bit nerve-wracking. All right. Anybody else want to
Writing
give it a
is
try?
terrible.
Yeah.
It works with the Surface Pen too.
So I've been erasing. Do you see me erasing? Or do
Yes.
I only see
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Nope.
No, we
Oh,
see you
you're
erasing.
I'm a cleaner. What can I tell you?
You are a cleaner. Wow.
And there's also the text tool. So the A with the box with it, like there's the A with a kind of dash box, that allows you to actually like type on it if you select that. So you can actually like type text out.
We're gonna have way too much fun with just the drawing.
Yeah. You know, this can be really powerful to use. You know, if you want to have a review, you could put up like the questions on the slide and have people answer them, you know, and then kind of go back and talk about what was right and what was wrong. There's lots of different applications. It's a really great tool for synchronous communications. And the great thing about Skype is that you can record it, so you can always send out the recordings at MP4. So you can always send out that recording later.
And I like Skype for Business too, just because of you can send it to anybody outside the organization. So if you ever did have a guest speaker.
That's a great point.
So it doesn't operate through Canvas at all.
No, well, and I'm in another meeting right now with this guy from Canvas and ask him if that's ever going to be an option.
So when you have a group of students in Canvas, you just tell them in Canvas to go to the Skype for Business and meet there?
Yeah, you just send them a link, kind of like what Jason
right.
was doing.
Okay.
You would put a link inside of an announcement, or an assignment, or
Okay.
however you want to do it.
Yeah, like an appointment, because usually you'll have somebody scheduled to speak.
But I would like to see Skype for Business inside of Canvas if you could do an integration, and then it would go into your calendar, and then they would just click on their calendar and go into it. That'd be cool.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
Well, we'll get there someday.
I think you're right.
Probably
Is this-
sooner than we expect.
Oh, Jason, you said Skype is integrated with Canvas?
Skype, but not Skype for Business.
Skype, but not Skype for Business.
Really? How's a Skype look inside of Canvas? Regular
I'm
Skype.
not sure. I haven't really played with it because it's not what I wanted to use.
Okay, you got it.
Because I guess Skype for Business is based off of the old is it Links platform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, this
Or
is
Skype
what
for
I have.
Business is
This
on the
my
link, yeah.
profile right here, and at the very bottom where it says links, that's where I put my virtual office hours.
Oh, that's
if you want
great.
to put it there.
Are the student.scf.edu considered part of our organization from make them a presenter perspective?
Oh, anybody could be a presenter.
But I think he's asking for the default. You know how you can set it as the default anyone from your organization. I believe that is correct, Bill. I need to kind of test it out as a student account just to make sure 100%. I'll put that on my flush it out.
Yeah, I'm with Angie on that one too. I believe it's correct, but I'd have to test that out too. That's a good question.
All right. Well, I think we answered most of the questions that I saw on the whiteboard. Did anybody have any additional questions?
That was a rich half hour.
That was a rich half hour.
And we'll send out the PowerPoint, of course, and also I'll send out the signing in because that can be helpful. You can just send that out to your students as far as logging into the Skype for Business. And then just also coming up next Wednesday or March 1st, we're going to do a presentation on rubrics using the Canvas rubrics. March 15th, closed captioning. Woohoo! Accessibility, big blue button, and then Excel on the 26th.
Two quick questions. Can you send the recording as well so that we can see how big that file is for a half-hour presentation? And is it possible to stage the polls in advance?
Okay, great questions. Yes and yes. The polls, basically, as you know, like I had all the content loaded up before the session. I actually created the poll in the whiteboard a few days ago. And since this session, it will stay there as long as, that start and end time is once the end time, I guess you'd lose it. But you can create things at any time and they will always be there as long as that session is still running. It doesn't have to physically be running, but as long as the start and end time, you won't lose it until the end time. And then as far as sending it out, one of the things we typically do is we just upload it to YouTube for several reasons. That way that we can do captions later on, if it's something that we're going to reuse. And it's just a link instead of a full file.
Any ADA considerations?
Yes, that's a great question, Bill. And that's one of the things that we are working on. If you have somebody that is hearing impaired and you know that there's a way to get real-time transcription. Transcription is set up. It's a process though, and it does take a lot of planning. But as far as like if you're sending this out to the class, it should be closed captioned. And that's one of the things, with YouTube generates the auto closed captioning. But it has to be, go through and correct those, which is one of the things we'll be looking at on March 15th.
And just so you guys know, anybody left in the session, the other person in our session that was helping us out today is Natalia. She's our new LMS admin too. So if you guys need any help or have any questions, not just about Skype for Business, but anything else, just send her a email or stop by sometime and say hi. And we'll be out and about too.
good to have extra help because I'm going to need it.
And just remember, we're always available if you want to meet with us to kind of flesh this out some more. This was kind of a big overview. But we can be happy. It's really nice. I like the first time to do it to practice with somebody on the other end, just to kind of get used to everything. So if you want to do that, we'd be happy to set that up with you.
Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.
Bye. See
Bye.
you sooner or later. Bye.
Bye, Bill. Thank you. Thank you, guys.